you very much for your inputs. We will take this forward later tonight on the Right Stand at 7:57 p.m. Do join us then on that larger, longer debate. For the moment, turning our attention to the other stalemate which is happening closer home in the national capital, between the farmers and the government. The farmer protests across the capital show no signs of abating. As the protests entered their 7th day, farmers from Punjab and Haryana continue to protest at the Delhi-Haryana Tikri border, leading to traffic snarls and also long queues at the border. In addition to that, supplies of essential food items have also been hit in view of the protests at the borders. Now, thousands of farmers have also camped at the Tikri border to protest against the controversial farm laws passed by Parliament in September ahead of the second government farmer unions meet that is scheduled for Thursday, that is tomorrow. Agriculture Minister Narendra Tomar and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal have also met with Home Minister Amit Shah to chalk out the strategy going forward. And one of the aspects very clearly is that the government is now going to tell the farmer groups, tell us what are your pain points so that we have an agenda for the discussion going forward. But so far, the government is very clear that these are all pro-farmer resolutions and pro-farmer laws that have been brought in, and we are not going back on them. Now, what's happening at the talks table? These are the aspects. Now, the farmers very clearly come out and say the government's offer is that there will be an expert committee which will have everyone, every representation, including agricultural experts, to reevaluate all the farm laws and let's look at it clause by clause, line by line. The farmers are saying we should have been done before passing these laws in Parliament. Don't do it now. What's the point? Because we want you to just take back all the laws. That's what we want to do. The government says suspend the agitation as talks are now currently on. They are saying protests will go on till a resolution is reached, and both of them have taken a very maximalistic position. So there is no negotiation which is happening. Talks with nominated farmer leaders, the governments of farmers are saying talks have to be held with all farmers. Now, the biggest story right now is, are they representing all the farmers? Now, we've got also more news coming through where as protests continue on the ground, farmers are refusing to budge. Have a look at the ground report that's come from the National Capital Region.
This is CNN News 18 special report. Now, in this report, we are going to bring you the updates about the traffic in the Delhi NCR region. Traffic has been adversely affected because farmers have been protesting at various key areas, in fact, in the border areas of the national capital. We are now en route to New Ashok Nagar because that's the only route if we want to enter from Noida or Ghaziabad to Akshardham, one of the major spots in the Delhi NCR region. This road is Akshardham Road. Now, this road bears a deserted look because this has been completely barricaded. In fact, on our left side is the iconic Akshardham temple. Now, this road just in front of the temple is completely sealed and barricaded. You can see traffic police personnel helping the commuters and giving them traffic advisories so that there is no problem being faced by the commuters here. The traffic is being diverted towards Ghaziabad and Kalindi Kunj from Akshardham. You can see massive traffic jam out here at DND Delhi-Noida flyway. That's the only route which is being opened for the residents and commuters who want to move in and out of the national capital. In Uttar Pradesh and Delhi, two borders have been completely sealed. Chilla border that connects Noida to the national capital and Ghazipur border that connects Ghaziabad to Delhi. We have just given you the update from the DND border. Now we are driving through the Chilla border which connects Delhi and Noida. We are also going to give you the updates from the Ghazipur border which connects another major city of Uttar Pradesh, Ghaziabad and Delhi. This is CNN News 18 special report and this is a special drive-through. Ghazipur, and we thought to speak to some of the residents of Delhi NCR to know about what they feel about this kisan protest that is being undergoing.
मजबूरी में कर रहे हैं ना ये। देखो किसान की चीज, मैं खुद किसान हूँ। मैंने 1500, 1550, 1600 में अपना धान बेचा है। और वो भी बड़ी मुश्किल में बिका है। गेहूँ 1600 चल रहा है, 1550। अब अगर इन्होंने कोई नियम लाते तो उस पर भी लाते हैं ना सबके लिए कि भाई इससे नीचे कोई खरीदेगा ही नहीं।
परेशानी में मेरठ से आ रहा हूँ, मेरा दिल्लीपुर से एग्जाम है, यहाँ की वजह से घूम के जाना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा, नीचे से जाना था आपको घूम के जाना
जाना पड़ेगा।
परेशानी हुई है?
परेशानी हो रही है सर। बल्कि एक बंदे ने वापसी भेज दिया, मैं दोबारा आया हूँ वापसी, बोला कि गाजीपुर इधर है।
अच्छा, दोबारा आए हुए हैं?
दोबारा आया हूँ अभी।
Well, there are plenty of issues now. One of the other aspects that has come to the fore is that there are BJP critics who have now joined the protest, prompting the BJP to claim that the agitation now has been quote-unquote hijacked to suit the so-called anti-Modi narrative. The Bhim Aadmi chief Chandrasekhar Azad joined the protesting farmers at the Delhi-Ghazipur border along with hundreds of his supporters and demanded that the new farm laws be withdrawn immediately. Also, Bilkis Dadi, who is the face of the month-long anti-citizenship law protests at Shaheen Bagh, was also stopped by the Delhi police personnel at the Singhu border. Many also are saying that there are pro-Khalistan slogans that have been shouted and posters that have also been shown at this agitation.
प्रदर्शन अब हो रहा है, उसमें कुछ ऐसे असामाजिक तत्व भी हैं और साथ ही खालिस्तानी सपोर्टर्स भी हैं। इस तरीके के लोग जो है अब इसमें शामिल होने लगे हैं।
देखिए, ये रवनीत बिट्टू को बताना पड़ेगा कि उन्होंने किस प्रकार के लोग यहाँ भेजे हैं, पंजाब से किस प्रकार के लोग यहाँ भेजे हैं। ये सबका सब उनको पंजाब में फिल्टर करना चाहिए था, पंजाब में इनको चेक करना चाहिए था कि किस प्रकार के लोग इसमें भागीदारी करने जा रहे हैं। ये एजुटेशन अभी नहीं चल रहा, पिछले 2 महीने से चल रहा है और पंजाब में भी इस एजुटेशन में इस प्रकार का एलिमेंट था। आज रवनीत बिट्टू खालिस्तान की बात करते हैं, तब नहीं करी जब वहाँ पर ये एजुटेशन चल रहा था। तो असल में वो अपनी राजनीतिक रोटियां भी सेक रहे हैं और अपना राजनीतिक भविष्य भी साथ रहे हैं इस प्रदर्शन के माध्यम से।
Well, Sagar Gupta now joining us live from the Ghazipur border. Aparna Dwivedi is with us from the Tikri border and Zeba is joining us from the Singhu border. Let me first come across to you at the Tikri border. Aparna, what's the update on ground? How is the situation at this point?
Anand, the situation remains peaceful at the Tikri border. The Tikri border has been closed for 6 days now, and let me show you this entire stretch which has been closed for any kind of traffic. You can see this entire road has been barricaded, and police is not allowing any commuter to enter this area. And you can also see the kind of deployment that has been done here to ensure that the situation remains peaceful. On the other side of the barricades, as you can see, there are multiple barricades. As you can see, on the other side of the barricade, farmers continue to camp. This is the Haryana side of the Tikri border, where you can see hundreds of farmers continue to camp there. They've been living out of their trucks, Anand, and this is the 7th day of the protest, and they continue to stay there. They've been raising slogans since morning. They've been chanting Kisan Ekta Zindabad. In fact, we also heard a lot of farmer leaders here addressing the crowd. We saw huge crowds. In fact, the crowd has sort of cleared right now, but we saw huge crowds in the morning blocking this entire stretch of road, making it very inconvenient for the commuters, Anand. But I can also say that the protests have remained peaceful.
Yes.
These protesters have not tried to barge in through the barricades. They have tried to remain peaceful, and tomorrow is an important day, a crucial day when we'll know whether or not this standoff is going to end between the farmers and the government. But for now, these farmers continue to remain stationed.
I think one of the aspects,
border,
and credit to the protesters, is that they have largely kept it, except for those 2 or 3 days over the weekend when things got out of hand and there was tear gas shelling as they were trying to make their way through from Punjab into Haryana and then into Delhi. But since the time the dialogue and the talks have opened, they've been largely peaceful. There have been protests, but they've been peaceful. Zeba Warsi with us at the Singhu border. Now, Singhu border is again a critical area where we did witness a lot of tensions, and there is a strict amount of barricading and some solid gridlocking that has been done by the police personnel. What's the update on ground? I did see some movement behind you, Zeba, as Aparna was speaking to us.
Well, yes, Anand, we do know that Singhu border is one of the main protest points. And on Friday, the situation turned very volatile here, where there were clashes between the police and the protesters. Tear gas shells, water cannons were used. Even right now, there is heavy police barricading, heavy police deployment at the Singhu border to ensure that no untoward incident happens. But the protests have been peaceful since Friday. There's been no incident of any violence, any tension that was reported from here. But what I can report to you, Anand, is that tents have now been put up at the Singhu border. So that if is any indication of farmers being prepared for a long winter, because at the entire protest site, different camps are protesting in groups, and tents have now been raised, to cover the protest site. So that is something that we've seen to happen today, and this is also something that farmer leaders have been saying after yesterday's meeting, and there is a crucial meeting tomorrow again with the government, that until and unless their demands are met, they will not leave, and which is why today they've shown that resolve, and they've also raised up tents here at the Singhu border. Anand.
True. Thanks for the update. Going across to Sagar Gupta. Sagar has done a full round of all the areas where there is a lockdown or a gridlock made by the cops to ensure that there is no unrest. But that also means that essential supplies coming into the national capital get blocked. Also, commodities moving into the mandis get blocked. Or is that being facilitated, Sagar? You are at the Ghazipur border, very close to the mandi there.
Absolutely very close to the mandi, and in fact you can see the board chicken and fish market. I mean, this is their livelihood is adversely affected. Now we are at this hotspot where the farmers have gathered out here. Particularly Anand, there's a bit of relief for the commuters who want to change cities and want to move between the cities, major cities, for example Ghaziabad, Noida or Delhi, because there is a direct flyover just above this road. So there is not much problem for the commuters who want to move in and out of the city. But for the small traders, for the small shopkeepers who live near these hotels or who run restaurants here, because several villages also are attached to this Ghazipur road, they have been adversely affected, and they are really scared, because if this continues, their livelihood will be adversely affected. You can see we are now surrounded by some of the farmers. If I can get a word across to you about their future course of action. आप लोग बताइए कहाँ से आए हैं?
आगरा से आए हैं।
यूपी से आप?
आगरा यूपी से।
यूपी। आप ये बताइए कि कल मीटिंग होने वाली है, एक हो चुकी है, एक कल होने वाली है, आप लोगों की मंशा क्या है?
हमारी ये जो डेट वारंट है, जो 3 कानून है किसान के लिए, वो वापस लिए जाएं। जब वो अमृत दे रहे हैं मोदी जी, हमें विषय लग रहा है, तो वापस ले ले, क्या बात है? पूरा देश का किसान इसका विरोध कर रहा है, इसमें क्या आपत्ति है? मोदी जी
एक हमारी सुने, एक एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनाई जाएगी, वो किसानों को शायद मंजूर नहीं है, तो अब आगे का रास्ता क्या होगा? कल की बातचीत में आप क्या अपनी मांग रखेंगे? एक प्रपोजल बनाने को भी बोला गया है। आप भारतीय किसान यूनियन से
हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष हैं टिकैत साहब, वो जो भी निर्णय लेंगे उसमें हम किसान उनके साथ खड़े हैं। Okay.
So Rakesh Tikait, a major leader here, who is Anand, leading this protest at Ghazipur. Remember, he has had a separate meeting with Agriculture Minister and Commerce Minister post Vigyan Bhavan meeting. He was separately called in, maybe because they have the feeling, the government has the feeling that here the Ghazipur border is mainly of the farmers of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab and Haryana, which is why they are dealing with these farmers separately, and separately with Tikri and Sindhu farmers.
Yes, and there was a long meeting which was there, which happened with Rakesh Tikait, between Rakesh Tikait and Narendra Tomar at that point at Krishi Bhavan after the engagement with the farmers. We'll see how this all pans out. The protests will continue till the talks, and that will perhaps matters will come to a head one way or the other tomorrow, that is Thursday. Time for a very short break here on The Nation at 5. When we come back, is Bollywood moving, migrating, or just spreading its wings? Yogi Adityanath is in Mumbai, and it stirred a lot of politics. Stay with us.